Hare Krishna. Om Gyan Timbradasya Gina Ganashalakya Chakshurmritamna Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitmen Bhutale Svarapakadamaham Dadati Svapadantikam Hare Krishna Namo Vishnu Padaya Guru Prastaya Bhutale Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Deri Vishesh Sunvadi Paskat Deshtarine Namaha Vinaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Bhagavat Namaha Now Brahma Devaigo Brahman Hitaya Cha Sita Krishna Vidaya Namo Namaha Om Gyati Mirandasya Gnana Shalakya Chakshurum Litamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam sorry Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Spitman Bhutale Saurapakadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandham Shri Guru Шиутпадакамам Шигрун Фашивамча, Ширупа Загашнам Сагна Рагунатам Витам Там Садживам, Садватим Савдутам Парижнас, Хитам Кришна Читани Девам, Ширата Кришна Падас Хагнолта Шивишакан Витам Шча. Кришна Каруна Синду Дина Банду Джагатпате. Купеше Гопига Канта Рада Канта на мостите, Тапта Канче на Гауранге, Раде Вриндаванешвари, Вриши Панусте Диви Пернамами, Хари Прие. I will try to sing a song Shivrajadama Mahimamrita. The nectarian glories of Rajadama. You all know this song. The devotees, you all know this song. Jaya Radha, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana. Just a moment. Okay. But before that, I will try to sing the Pranam mantra of His Divine Grace, Bhaichar Ravrinda Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And of his Diksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhupada, the son of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. And then the Panchatattva mantra, which glorifies Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his eternal associates in Gora Lila. And then a Maha mantra. And then I will try to sing the song Jaya Radha Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Very nice song. You all know it. All the devotees know it. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishnaya Krishna Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Sorry, I think I didn't sing this. I forgot the Pranam mantra of Srila Prabhupada. Just a moment, let me see it again. What was it? Let us see. No, it's like this, yes. Namo Vishnu Padai Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Yes, it's the right one. Yes. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyadashatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Karindeya Muna Jaya Jaya Mahava Keshigata Vamsivata Vadashakana Yahasava Lila Koilo Shri Nandananda Shri Nandaya Shoda Jaya Jaya Gopaga Shri Damati Jaya Jaya Tanmavamsaga Jaya Vrishapanu Jaya Kirtidasundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari Jaya Jaya Gopishvara Vrindavana Mahi Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Batul Vijara Jaya Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nanda Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jata Jaya Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Nakakanyaga Bhakti Teja Harapaya Govinda Chara Shri Rasamandala Jaya Jaya Radesha Jaya Jaya Rasalila Sarvamanura Jaya Jaya Jvalarasa sarvarasasa parakiya bhaveja brajate pracha Shri Janava Pada Padma Kariya Smara Dina Krishna Dasako Nama Sankirtan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Moha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Now I will again continue to read from Bhagavad-Gita. The last time I think I reached chapter 6. These are not all the verses of Bhagavad-Gita, but some verses which were selected from Maharaj as being more representative, more important for representing Bhagavad-Gita. Of course, every verse of Bhagavad-Gita is important, no any doubt in that, but just to just to be able to understand the mood of Bhagavad Gita and the main things which are described there. These verses represent this in a very nice way. Yes, they represent Bhagavad Gita actually very nicely. These verses selected from Maharaj. So chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, verses 6.6 and 6.7. Bandhuratmanas tasya yedanbhavatmanam jitanatmanastu shatrutve vatatidmaiva shatruva jitatmana prasantasya paramatva samahitah shitoshna sukha dukeshu tata manapadamanoyo. Sorry. So I will again repeat verse 6-7. Jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita Shitosna sukha dukeshu tatamana pamanayo. Something like that. Okay, translation of verses 6.6 and 6.7 from Bhagavad Gita. For him who has conquered the mind is the best friend. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. For one who has conquered the mind, the supersoul is already reached. for he has attained tranquility. To such a person, to such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Honor and dishonor are all the same. So we see how Krishna is explaining to Arjuna how important it is to be able to conquer the mind. Also in um, Manahashiksha of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, it is also explained that conquering the mind is very important, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in his Manahashiksha, he's talking to the mind as if the mind is his brother, very lovingly. He's talking to the mind. Oh mind, oh brother, please do that, please do this, and so on. For example, in verse 4, Asat vrta veshavašiđa mati sarva saharnihi. Kata mukti vyagriha nashinukila sarvatmagalnihi. Apitya tvalakshmi patiratim itovya mananim. Prajarada Krishna svaratimani dautvam bajamanaha. So, verse 4 of Sriman Hashiksha of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Sadvrta Vishavashija Mati Sarvasam Harnihi. Kata Muktivya Griha Nashinu Kila Sarvatma Gilani. Apitya Tvalashim Patiratim Itovyama Nayanim. Jarada Krishna Svaratimani Do Tvam Bajamanaha. Sadvrta Vishavashija Mati Sarvatma Karanihi. Kata Muktivya Griha Nashinu Kila Sarvatmak Gilanihi. Apitya Tvalashim Patiratim Itovyama Nayanim. Prajarada Krishna Svaratimati Do Tvam Bajamanaha. Tvam Bajamanaha. Oh mind, just worship Radha and Krishna, the divine couple Shrimati Radhika and Shri Krishna in Vraj. So if he's saying here one should live in Vraj, maybe he's saying then one should live in Vraj, or at least one should be in the mood of Vraj. So in Vraj, worship Shrimati Radhika and Shri Krishna, the divine couple. Oh mind, worship them, because they will give you the jewel of love for them. Svarati Manido. Varjara Krishna Svarati Manido. Tvam Bajamanaha. In the previous lines, he says to the mind, Satvarta Vishavshija Mati Sarvas Maharnihi. Satvarta Vishavshija Mati Sarvas Maharnihi. Asatvarta Vishavshija Mati Sarvas Maharnihi. Don't have a bad association with the asat, with persons who are not good to be associated with, and don't have mundane talk with them. Don't take part in such talks, in such mundane discussions. They will steal the treasure of your soul. Katamuktivya griha nashinukila sarvatmagalanihi. Katamuktivya griha nashinukila sarvatmagalanihi. Katamuktivya griha nashinukila sarvatmagalanihi. And don't hear kata, don't hear lectures on impersonal about impersonal liberation because they explain that the soul does not exist, which is of course not true. Apityattva Lakshmipatiratim itovyamananim. Apityattva Lakshmipatiratim itovyamananim. Apityattva Lakshmipatiratim itovyamananim. Even don't have attachment to Lakshmipati Narayana, to the husband of Lakshmi, Narayana. This will lead to Paravyoma, to Vaikunta in Paravyoma. So even that don't have, even that attachment don't have. And the last line, as we already heard, Varjerada Krishna Svarati Matido, Svarati Manido, Tvambajamanaha. Live in Vraj or in the mood of Vraj, worship Srimati Radhika and Shri Krishna, the divine couple, because they will give you the jewel of love for them. Worship them, Tvam Bhajamadha. Worship them, O mind. So he's talking very lovingly, very nicely to his mind, and he's calling his mind brother, oh brother. He's calling his mind a brother, very lovingly. Yes. And let's again come back to Bhagavad-Gita. So let us see what is saying further Krishna to Arjuna. The next verses which Maharaj has selected are 6:17 and 6:30.
Yuktahara Viharasya Yuktajastasya Karmaso Yuktasvapnavabudasya Yavabhavati Dukha Yomaha Pashyanti Sarvatra Sarvam Chamaya Pashyati Tasya Na Pranashyami Chame Na Pranashyati.
Okay. So translation. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. For one who sees me, Krishna says, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, says Krishna, I am never lost, nor is he or she ever lost to me. Okay, the next verses 6:32 and 6:34.
Atma Pamena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati Arjuna Sukham Vayadi Vadukam Sayagi Paramamada Chanchala Himanaha Krishna Pramati Bhagavat Driham Tasya Nigraham Manyeva Yuriva Sudushkara.
So verses 6:32 and 6:34. A translation. He is perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings, in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the mind. Okay, just a moment. So okay. So the next verses are 635 and 647.
Shri Bhagavad-Gita
Asam saya mahaba
Manoduni Granchalam Abhyasena Tukaunte Vairagena Jagriyate Yogina Mapi Sarvesa Madgatenant Atmana Shamavan Bhajate Yoma Samyukta Tamomata Samyukta Tamomata.
Translation of verses 635 and 647. Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So we see how Krishna, when he's explaining to Arjuna how to mm, control the mind, um, or how to try to control the mind, he says also that this person who controls the mind renders transcendental loving service to Krishna. And this is what, sorry, this is also what was said in verse 4 of Manaka Shiksha Srila Raghunatha Goswami. One should worship Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna. The mind, he says to the mind, O mind, worship Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna. Yes. Okay, let's see the next chapter, or maybe this chapter. The next is chapter 7, maybe the next time. Yes, chapter 7 next time. And now I will again continue to read from Shri Shikshastaka. No, sorry, from the commentaries of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura on the second verse of Shri Shikshastaka, of Shri Shikshastaka. The next part from the commentaries, well, actually, I think we finished already the commentaries of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Now let us see Vivritti. These were, I think, maybe the commentaries of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. Yes. Okay. Vivriti. O Bhagavan, out of your causeless mercy, you have manifested innumerable names for the benefit of the entire world. You have invested each of those names with all the potencies of your respective personal forms. In the chanting and remembrance of these names, you have not imposed any restrictions regarding when such chanting should be done, even while eating, reclining, or sleeping. At any time, one can chant the holy name of the Lord. There is no inconvenience in this whatsoever, yet I am so unfortunate that I have not even the slightest attachment for chanting or remembering such liberal and magnanimous names. Further, Srila Bhaktivedanta Srila Thakura writes, primary and secondary names. It is mentioned above that the Lord manifests innumerable Bahu names. The word Bahu indicates that the Lord's holy names are of two types, primary Mukhya and secondary Gauna. The primary names are also of two types, Madhurya, names that represent the sweet, intimate, loving feature of the Lord, and Aishwarya, names that represent his opulent and reverential feature. Included in the first category are Krishna, Radharamana, Gopijana Vallabha. Krishna, Radharamana, Gopijana Vallabha. In the second category are Vasudeva, Rama, Nrsimha. The separated expansions of the Lord, or in other words, his partial manifestations such as Brahma, Paramatma, and so on, are included in the secondary names of the Lord. The principal names of the Lord are non-different from him and are endowed with all the potencies that are to be found within his personal form. The secondary names are only partially endowed with the select potencies. Okay, so I will continue to read the next paragraph the next time, so we see how beautifully it is explained from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, from uh, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakura, what is said in Shri Shikshastakam. We all know Shri Shikshastakam was spoken from the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the 16th century, and we all know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the the actually it is he's the Lord Krishna himself, and not only the Lord Krishna himself, also Shrimati Radhika and Sri Krishna together. So in the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shrimati Radhika and Sri Krishna, the divine couple, both of them are there. In the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the mood of Shrimati Radhika crying in separation from the Lord, and at the same time the mood of the other pure devotees crying in separation from the Lord. And the body of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is with golden complexion uh, as the body of Srimati Radhika. In this way, Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna, the divine couple, both of them are in the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And us, in every verse of Sri Shikshastakam, the Love of Srimati Radhika to Shri Krishna Madana Ke Mahabhava, the highest love in all the world, and also at the same time, the love and separation of any other, of the other pure devotees of the Lord are there. So, pure devotees like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura are able to really explain what Shri Shri Shikshastakam says, as we heard some minutes ago, the explanations from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, and yesterday the explanations of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura on the second verse of Shri Shri Shikshastakam. They know what is said in Shri Shri Shikshastakam because they are pure devotees. The topmost pure devotee is Srimati Radhika, and also there are many other pure devotees like the Gopis of Vrindavan, Narada Muni, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhupada, the Diksha Guru of our Prabhupada. Our Prabhupada is also pure devotee, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhupada. And there are also other pure devotees. For example, Narayana Maharaj, also Srila Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Goswami Maharaj, the sannyas guru of our Srila Prabhupada, and the Diksha guru of Srila Narayana Maharaj, and also many other persons are pure devotees. And their mood, of crying in separation from Krishna is expressed in every verse of Shri Shri Shikshastakam. For example, in verse 3, Tanata Pisnuichna, Torara Piskisnuna, Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Siddhahari. One should be more humble than the grass, more humble than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree. One should not expect any respect and glorification from others, but one should be ready always to give all respect and glorification to all the other persons, respective according to their respective position, according to the translation of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, and one should be ready to give all respect and glorification to all the living entity, to every living entity, to every living entity. Because Krishna lives in the heart of everyone, according to the definition and according to the translation of Srila Bhakti, of Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj. He is also a pure devotee of the Lord. And the last line of verse 3 says, Chaitanya Sadhahari. One should continuously chant the holy names of the Lord in this humble mood. So we see how here the Lord instructs us how a devotee should behave. Also, at the same time, in the case of a pure devotee of the Lord, for example, Srimati Radhika, who is the topmost pure devotee, which is stated in verse 10 of Sri Upadeshamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami, or also in the case of the other pure devotees of the Lord, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is just the it is the um, it is just very important for a loving person. Just imagine if a person who loves somebody feels separation from the beloved, and the beloved is not there. The chanting of the holy name of the beloved, the chanting of the names of the beloved, the saying the names of the beloved will help will help to a little bit make this pain of separation a little bit less. And in the case of the Lord Krishna, it's not only that. Also, the Lord Krishna actually comes with these vibrations, and these persons are together with the Lord in this state of separation. Even if there is separation, if they feel separation from the Lord, just because they say the names of the Lord comes with them. Because the names of the Lord are not different from the Lord Himself. So, yes, and it is maybe it is for persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. This separation is not so easy to be understood. Why? The persons who are interested in Krishna consciousness always speak about separation and want even to learn to feel separation from the Lord. The persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness cannot understand this, and even somebody have asked me, um, um, not even asked, she just said that she does not understand this thing with the separation, and actually she does not want separation. This part with the separation she does not understand. Otherwise, it's interesting and nice when one talks about the Lord, about Krishna, but when one starts to talk about separation, she does not accept this. She just it's just something which she does not feel comfortable with, and she just rejects it. Uh, and but this separation is just for the persons who are interested in Krishna consciousness. This is just a symptom of a pure devotee. This is a symptom of a person who really loves the Lord. And it's not that we want to suffer, that's why we want separation. No, just we, um, those who are interested in Krishna consciousness, they just would like to learn to love the Lord. And if there is separation from the Lord, this is a symptom of love for the Lord. That's why they talk about separation. That's why we who are interested in Krishna consciousness, we talk about separation. It's not that we want to suffer and that's why we want separation. No, it's not exactly in this way. Just this separation is a symptom of a person who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay, now I think we can come to an end now. I thank you so much for your attention. If I try to say something on Vedic literature or comments on Vedic literature, you all know I'm not qualified on such topics, and and you must know I'm not trying to instruct anybody. I'm just trying to understand it myself. Of course, one have to try to understand the Vedic literature and the comments on Vedic literature. One should try to understand this under the guidance of teachers, under the guidance of Diksha Guru and Shiksha Gurus. All of you who are devotees, who are Vaishnavas, you're all my Gurus. I pay obeisances to you, Dandavat Pranam. Vanchakalpatarupascha, Kripasnukupevcha, Patitna Pavanebi Vishnavebi Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha Tulasni Krishna Prayasi Radha Krishna Seva Babu Abhilasi Ye Tumara Sharanaloy Taravancha Puna Ho Krishna Kori Korodare Brindavana Base Moreia Vilas Vilas Kunja Diavas Nayane Vasaba Yugalaru Parasi Eine Vedanatara Sakira no Gatakara Seva Vikara Diya Guru Nija Dasi Dina Krishna Dasi Koi
Eijena Mora Hoy.
Shri Radha Govinda Brahma Sadayena Bhasi Vrindayai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavratyai Namo Namaha Vrindavai Tulasi Devai
Priyaya Keshavasya
Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sarvavatam Satyavyatai Namo Namaha
Yani Kani Chapapani
Brahma Hadi Cha Tani Tani Pranashanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Yani Kani Chapapani Brahma Hadi Cha Tani Tani Pranashanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Namaste Narasi
Simhaya, Praladalada Dahine, Hiranyakashipu. vaksha Shiratan kana kalaye Niton Rishimho Paraton Rishiho Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishiho Bahir Nishiho Hridayen Rishimho Rishibhamadehim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamala Varina Kamabuddha Srinandarita Hiranyakashipu Tani Brihita Kesha Dritana Harirupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Tava cara kamalavare
Nakama Buddha Shringa Alita Hiranyakashipu Tanobringa
Keshavadrita
Narari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Shri Nishimha Jan Rishimha Jaya Jan Rishimha Dev Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nishimha Jan Rishimha Jaya Jan Rishimha Dev Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nishimha Jan Rishimha Jaya Jan Rishimha Dev Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nishimha Jan Rishimha Jaya Jan Rishimha Dev Prahodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa.
Jaya Nrisimhadev Jaya Nrisimhadev Jaya Nrisimhadev Jaya Nrisimhadev Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Shri Shri Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Shri Shri Jaya Gauranitai Radhe 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 Madhava Radha Gopina Radha Shyama Radha Gopinata Radha Gokula Nanda Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna.